Bonjour mes amis, et bienvenue au Pendu dans un Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably know from my attempt at a French introduction that this is my series in which I use Cercle de Marseille adjacent, and antique Italian decks to help me get a new look at, to have a fresh perspective on a spread that I have read earlier in the week. And I used to say to get a more concise message, but my spreads these days have been rather trim, tight, 3-card spreads with a couple of oracle cards thrown in for good measure. And so this isn't really a distillation of the message so much as it is perhaps another layer to the message. Yeah? And I've done this week's larger reading. Well, larger? Not so much larger, but primary reading. And if you have not seen that, I highly recommend it that you go take a look at that first. And I'll put a card up here for you to hop on over, take a look at that reading, so you get an understanding of the platform from which we are launching this reading. Because this reading is always a reaction or a response to the previous reading, right? So the title for that reading was Perceptions and Interpretation and Joy. It was a very weird title, but that's what came up for me and that's what seemed correct for me for that video. Perceptions and Interpretation and Joy. If you want to see what that means, take a look at the video. And really, I can't give you a distillation of that message right off the bat because it was, I don't know, it was an ineffable reading. Let's call it ineffable. And I might be using that word incorrectly, but it was a very interesting reading, and it was a reading that was not easy to understand right out of the gate. It wasn't one of those readings where you lay the cards and you think, oh yeah, of course, that. It was one of those readings where you lay a card and what? Huh? Really? What the heck are you trying to say? And so it does fit together, I believe. You tell me. You saw it, right? Did it fit together for you? I think it fits together. If it fit together for you, let me know in the comments below. If it did not fit for you, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? So this spread is a reaction to that spread, right? And so I have a spread of cards already prepared. I will show you the question that I ask every week. What is the central message of the last 3-card spread? I will show you the cards, and then we'll talk about them. Okay? So friends, let's start off with those things. Here we go. Before we start reading this spread, let me ask you, what do you think of these cards? There are a lot of them, right? Yeah? And they're big. They are big, big cards. Now, just in case you've never seen these cards before, they're a wonderful deck called Le Tarot de Nuit. That's right, Le Tarot de Nuit. They're published in France. They're a mass market French publication, and I believe they're still available. I'll put a link in the comment description box below. If you have small hands, they might be difficult for you to shuffle. Just saying. I've got big old clumpy hands, and they are still difficult. They're a challenge to shuffle, but I can do them. They're gilded, and I like the color palette. Yeah, it's a wonderful chocolate kind of color palette, and it's a redrawing. It's not Tarot de Marseille. For me, this is what I would consider Tarot de Marseille adjacent. Yeah. And then you saw an oracle card, one of them, from a deck created by Patrick Valenza at Deviant Moon called the Zammer Twins Oracle. And there will be a link to that card, to that deck, I should say, not only the card, the whole deck, in the description box below. So that's what we've got. And I chose that Zammer Twins Oracle because this deck seemed to have that similar kind of, I don't know if linotype is correct, but that same kind of printing style, if you will, though the coloration is completely different. Yeah, so that was my choice. Those were my choices, and that was the spread. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you the 4 cards on the top once more for you to get a refresher look at. And we'll read those cards. And then I'll show you the Oracle card once more, just as a reminder, and we'll read that as an advice card, perhaps. Right? So here we go. Here are the 4 cards on the top. Yes, 4. Take a look. The 4 cards you saw from left to right were the Devil card, the 6 of coins, the Temperance card, and the 3 of coins. Yeah, 2 coins, right? 6 and 3. 3 is half of 6. Interesting. Now, why are there 4 cards? You might be asking me that question. Why 4? Well, I actually started off with 3 cards. We got the Devil card, the 6 of coins, and the Temperance card. And that could have been a perfectly fine reading. Yeah. You notice that the Temperance person and the Devil person are all looking to the left. So that's the direction I'm going to be reading these cards in, the line of gaze, right? Well, everybody seems to be looking off to the left, so that's the direction. But Temperance holds those 2 pictures, right? And so I often like to see what is on either side of the Temperance card. What is she alchemizing? What is she bringing together? Now, you also see that there are 2 figures on the Devil card, and I could have thought, well, what is the Devil bringing? Do you see that? Okay, so a little bit of a backup here. Backup. Do you see the echoes between the Temperance card and the Devil card? Even though they're actually sequential, right? The Devil card comes right after the Temperance card. Let's see. So this would be the sequence, and let me flip it around for you like this. Here we go. So the Devil card comes after the Temperance card in the deck. But do you see the echoes between these 2? We have a central figure holding on to 2 different objects, if you will. Yeah? The Temperance objects are 2 cups. The Devil objects are 2 imps, 2 creatures, right? But they're both bringing together 2 different things, if we look at them as images. Which is interesting. So I could have thought, well, I thought briefly, well, do I want to lay another card on the other side of the Devil card? And I thought, no. These 4 cards really do seem like enough. And I could see what was happening here. What I saw was that the Temperance card is bringing together the 2 coin cards, yeah, and looking in the direction of the Devil card. Not the Devil as in the satanic, fairly modern image of what a devil is. There are several ways of looking at approaching the devil. And not all of them are the same as the devil as portrayed in The Exorcist, for example, saying, I'm the devil, flap me, right? The devil is a fallen angel. Is an angel fallen perhaps for hubris, but perhaps for purpose of bringing the divine into the earthly realm. It could be a misunderstanding of Sophia, who has come into and manifests the world, the universe around her, the feminine aspect of the divine, who manifests the world around her and is entranced by and is has sometimes perhaps even fallen asleep, according to some interpretations, in the dream of the material realm. There are several ways of interpreting the devil, not only as evil, or there are other ways of looking at the devil, right? Which are very interesting. And I'm not saying that we should worship the devil or we should become Satanists. If you're a Satanist, you do you, boo. But I'm not saying that by any means. I'm saying that our understanding and our image of the devil has not been the same over the millennia. Yeah? So, where are we going to start? Let's start off with the Temperance card. And there she is. Beautiful card. Love this redrawing of the Temperance figure and the entire scene of the Temperance figure. And who is Temperance? Temperance is the figure of patience, serenity, and harmony for me. She is balance, but dynamic balance. Yeah, she's not the one who's trying to find that middle point on a sword where things are perfectly balanced and they stop moving. She keeps things in motion. She balances things dynamically. There's an exchange here, an energy flow, a flow of resources, a flow of emotion, of energy. Yeah, it's a slow process of distillation even. She could be making alcohol for all we know. It's a slow process of distillation, of extracting essence, of integration of opposites sometimes. Our ability to do the seemingly impossible of taking dirt, bits of dirt, and smashing it together and creating gold, alchemy. Yeah? She does all of that. But again, with a dynamic flow, with no rush, with no hurry, with patience, serenity, harmony, bringing things together, creating the new. Perhaps creating health, creating healing as well. Perhaps creating enlightenment, perhaps creating understanding, perhaps creating awakening. So what is she bringing together? Well, on the one hand, she is bringing together the Three of Coins. Which is what? It could be this, I love this image. I love the drawing in this. There's a delicacy to the line work, but there's a weight to the image as well because of the steep, rich saturation of color. Love this deck. So again, Three of Coins. Investment, it could be an investment. It could be the starting of a project. Not the opportunity, not the first contemplation and preparation, but the actual starting of the project, the actual work going into motion. And perhaps the first gains from that work, the first results. It could be the release of first products, whatever they are. They could be material products like something out of a factory, something that you create, something out of your kitchen, something out of your workshop. It could be first products, intellectual products, right? Videos, speech, writing. It could be creative, artistic product, whatever. It could be any product that we are making. Whether we know there are going to be people interested in it or not, interested in them or not. The products are ready and they're being released, whether we know that there are buyers or not. Right? It could be a discussion to do something with unknown results. Now, there's no stability here yet. It's the beginnings of things. It could also be a partnership of people, right? An alliance that is fruitful. So it could be workers coming together to do the thing, to create the thing to be released. So there are those beginnings, those comings together of things, the release of the new thing, the release of the thing, but no resulting like income or result from whatever that product is, right? On the one hand, she's got that. On the other hand, she's got the 6 of coins, which is more mature, right? So the 6 of coins, they are creature comforts, sensual pleasures, enjoying the world, enjoying the resources, and using them to take care of ourselves. They could be expansion. 6s for me are beauty, so it's the beauty of the material realm. It could be generosity to self, physical pleasure, enjoyment of the resources, the money, the stuff that we have, and managing those things well. Yeah, it's not breaking out and doing something wild and wacky and crazy, which might be the 5. This is something more stable. It's the beauty in daily life, investing in things that we love. Investing our time and energy and resources in things that we love and enjoying those things. There's an abundance of resources here. And we can have a positive outlook and enjoy success. Enjoy the success that we have had. Balancing between stability and movement. Stability and movement. So she's bringing, the Temperance card is bringing both of these aspects together. Now the new release, the coming together, the new project, and the enjoyment of what is the sensual pleasure, the taking care of self and enjoying the things that we have, investing in things, and balancing both stability and movement, right? And understanding the beauty of all that is. And in a sense, that's what this week's larger reading was about, I believe. We were asked to follow our passions, to look for things, to get out into the world, to experience and interpret, be attentive to how we are interpreting things, but also of enjoyment and finding the joy and creating the joy. Finding the beauty in daily life and investing in those things that we have, enjoying the abundance and success that we have. Right? We want to bring those things together. As we give our attention to what? As we give our attention to, now this card is problematic. We got it, I just said it's problematic. There could be some very negative things. But there are some very positive things of in this card, and I think that's the direction that Temperance is thinking of moving in. Is thinking of moving in the direction of playfulness, pleasure, and fantasy. Fantasy not in the sense of, that's just fantasy, but fantasy is the creative fantasy of daydreams, of imagination, following our passions. We were asked to do that in the previous spread for this week. Now, there could be attachments and dependency and chaos, sure, but I don't think that's where she's actually moving in. She's moving into the side of playfulness and enjoyment. And maybe hidden subconscious powers, both positive and negative, but there are positive powers in the subconscious that Temperance can take advantage of. There are paradoxes and contradictions in the world that Temperance is able to bring together to create the new. So Temperance is looking at all of those things. Sexuality as well. And enjoying that process. Enjoying the passion, enjoying the pleasure, enjoying the playfulness of all of that as well. Does that make sense? And instead of these two imps being chained as prisoners, for example, we can think of these two as being the pets, what's a better word than pet? The companions companions that are being brought out for an excursion in the world. So they don't run away and get lost. They're brought forth into the world by the devil, and let's go have an experience of the outer world together. And yeah, their facial expression doesn't look like happy puppies, but if they're demon imps, then maybe they don't have the possible, this could be happy for them. It depends on how we interpret it, right? They could be out having a good time. The devil seems to be has a very loose, playful grasp on these two imps. I mean, there are some dogs who were born with grumpy looking faces, and they could have be the best companions and have the most fun and still have this weird grumpy look on their faces, right? Imagine that kind of dog with these imps. Get it? Yeah? So, we've got a really interesting card for advice. And I think that advice is going to strengthen and clarify what I just said. Here is that card once more. Take a look. I think this card from the Zammer Twins Oracle is just the funnest. Yes, I said funnest, in the most fun. I mean, what a wonderful clown or an acrobat, right? It's the acrobat. And here we see a limber young acrobat performing in a sideshow, on a sideshow stage, demonstrating tremendous poise and dexterity. And by using a combination of natural talent and rigorous discipline, he is able to execute stunts which leave onlookers in awe. Now he's able to do some pretty amazing stuff. Look at that. That's pretty freaking amazing. And that doesn't happen overnight. The ability to do this does not happen overnight, right? There's discipline involved. But there's also natural talent. There are the natural gifts given rigorous discipline which create this wonderful ability. And so we're called for that. We're called for flexibility. Our ability to maneuver through complex situations. And our confidence in our own skill. And our willingness to show off. That's what we're called for. That's the advice. Yeah? And the ability to join those 6 of coins and the 3 of coins together is not necessarily the easiest trick in the book. It's a maneuver that could be complex. And it might take our ability to maneuver and maintain balance and to measure and weigh and to combine it appropriately. But we want to have confidence that we can do that and show off as we move into the playfulness and the pleasure and the sexuality perhaps even, but the fantasy and the passion of the devil. Again, not the devil as in the demonic spirit that takes over a child's body and turns its head around and spits pea soup. If you saw the first Exorcist movie, you know what I mean. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the spirit who has descended either on purpose or as punishment into this material realm and has discovered the joy of what is. The pleasure, the fascination of what is. Yeah? So, have confidence. Show off a little bit. We were asked to do a little bit of that showing off our abilities to be and do what other people might benefit from, and generosity in a very showy manner, with no strings attached, but giving generously of our resources, our talents, our emotions, our interest, without any strings attached, but doing it in a very visible way. Yeah, that's kind of this card too, right? So that's what we want to do. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. You like it? You don't like it? Makes sense? Doesn't make sense? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And friends, if you want a reading from me, my email address is below. Shoot me an email to thehangedmaninthemoon@gmail.com, or let me know in the comments below. I'd like a reading. We'll get you one. Okay? So friends, here we are. We're at the end of the reading. Thank you. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel. It really does help the channel, and it helps the people who would be interested in finding the channel as well. It's all that YouTube algorithm stuff. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.